Hey guys, RVA Bourbon. It's been a minute. I haven't done one of these in a while. But in the meantime, I have been collecting some unique bottles that I want to give a tasting to. A blind tasting, except for I do know the 4 bottles. So I have a Calumet 14. I believe this is 94 proof, 96 proof. So 96 proof, 14-year-old bourbon. I have a Sam Houston 14. I believe Sam Houston is a 98 proof. And then I have Yellowstone limited edition. Heard a lot about it, but haven't yet tried it. And then I have a Remus Reserve number 3, which is supposed to be the best batch of the Remus Reserve. So I'm going to give these 4 a try. Again, I do not know what's in the glasses. I do know the 4 bourbons that I have, but I don't know what's in the glasses. So we're going to give number 1 a try. Just a little proofy. Really needs to open up a bit because I can smell a little bit of that alcohol. She's got some corn, some sweet corn, some young fruit like a strawberry, banana type fruit, and it may be even one of the younger bourbons. I didn't look to see how long Yellowstone and Remus, obviously at least 4 years to be a bourbon, but I did not look to see if it had an age statement on it. A lot of corn. It's a new taste, a new. When I say new, it doesn't feel like that's an old aged bourbon. It feels like it's a newer bourbon, which you can get from the smell a lot of times. Really sweet. That second sip was a really sweet bourbon. It's good. Actually, I don't think anything here will be bad, and it'll be probably a tough selection between these 4 from what I've watched in other bourbon tasters videos. If you haven't looked up the Bourbon Junkies, please look them up. Great guys to watch. Austin Hubbard, Bourbon Santa, if you look him up. Another great bourbon taster to watch. It's also the Mash and Drum, Bourbon Night. These are all YouTube videos that do bourbon tastings and give you their thoughts on different bourbons. Number 2, very similar smell, corn. This has a little, number 2 seems like it has a little dusty smell to it. So I feel like it's one of the aged bourbons, one of the 14-year-old, but we'll taste it and find out. It's good. It's not as good as number 1. Good mouthfeel, kind of clean. I don't think that's one of the aged bourbons, one of the 14s, but again, I could be wrong. It's like a cotton candy taste to it. A little bit of a, almost like an artificial sugar, sweet and low taste to it for some reason. Still getting that State Fair cotton candy. Not so much the sweetness, but the aftertaste is kind of, to me, I'm getting some cotton candy. Number 2 was not as good as number 1. We'll move on to number 3. Not a ton of smell to number 3. Smell, this has a little dusty smell to it, and the taste has a little, I feel like some age on this one, number 3. It's good. The second sip was, that is a good, in my opinion, aged bourbon. I'm real interested now to see what's what. I love trying new bourbons, and I love knowing of these 4. Man, this one really knocked it out of the park, or you know, all of these were good, but these 2 just kind of scream at you. Number 4 has a great smell to it. Peanut, like roasted chestnuts in a cast iron skillet, and add a little. I'm even getting a little like smoky meat taste to this, or smell to this. Yeah, like a brisket, like something's been, you know, you're smoking meat or cooking meat in a cast iron skillet. Oh, that's a good smell to this one. Oh yeah, that's a good one. It is a very different, distinctive smell to this. Almost if you put some meat with, and then I get some of that corn, like you're roasting like chestnuts and corn together, and you're roasting it, almost like eating some chestnuts and corn on the cob all together, or some steak and corn. This smell is amazing. That's probably one of the best smelling bourbons I've ever had. This number 4, by smell, is one of the best bourbons I've ever smelled. Oh man, that's crazy. That is a crazy good smelling bourbon. And a good tasting bourbon. Wow. That number 4 is a knock your socks off. Be interesting to see what it is. I am going to, can you get me a little water, please? I think, yeah. I'm going to have a little shot of water here, and then I'm going to go back through them and I'm really excited. Good stuff right here. And I knew it would be good stuff just from watching other bourbon junkies, as you call them, or bourbon people. Or I'm going to go back to this number 4. 3, 2, 1, back through. Whew, man. Number 4. These aren't something that you can readily pick up in the store. I had to get these from other sources. But if you can get your hands on this, it's worth it. That's a good bourbon. I don't know that I would say the best bourbon I've ever tasted, because I'm a higher proof kind of guy, and all these are around the 100 mark, 96, 98, 101, and I think 100 even. So they're all around the 100 mark. So far, I think of the bourbons I have, Stagg Junior's probably, of what I have, my favorite. This is number 3. Not a ton of smell to this. You get the corn, you get that in a lot of these bourbons. A good mouthfeel on number 3. Doesn't stand up to number 4. Although I do think number 3 is going to be one of these 14 years. Just because it has a smoky kind of age to it, I feel like. I'll be curious to know. I'm going to try to guess them as I go through them, as I reveal the winners and losers, and really no losers, but I'm going to go to number 2, which has probably so far been, between 2 and 3 has been my least favorite. This has a decent smell to it. I feel like number 3, again, that smoky, older age bourbon, I believe. It's good. It's good. Got a good mouthfeel. Because these are average proof bourbons, you don't get a ton of burn. This one probably has the most burn. But I really couldn't guess this one. It's got a good smell to it. Not bad. I wouldn't throw any of these out for sure. And we're going to go back to number 1, which I really enjoyed. Still has that alcohol smell to it a little bit. I'd like to let this sit in the glass for another 15-20 minutes. But has that sweet strawberry smell, like a new fruit. Like, when I say new fruit, I mean like, I don't know how to explain it, a strawberry, even a kiwi comes to mind when I'm smelling this. That is a good bourbon as well. Not as good as number 4, but number 1 is definitely going to be my second place bourbon. Number 4 is definitely going to be my number 1. I thought this would be closer to number 4, and it's good. It's obviously, of these 4, it's going to be my second place. Just tastes new, like new fruit, a very new taste. So second and third place that's a little bit tough for me. I am going to say number 2 is my 4th place tonight, only because number 3 does have some smoky, dusty, aged bourbon taste to it, which I tend to like. Like a smoking jacket, and with that number 3, you'd want a cigar with it. So I'm gonna say it was close between second and third, and it was close between first and 4, or number 4. Number 4 is definitely my winner for sure. Number 2, I am going to take a guess and say this is the Yellowstone Limited Edition, only because I don't feel like it had enough smoky qualities to be a 14 year, and I had heard the Remus was a little sweeter. So let's take a look. I am wrong. So my which is my 4th place tonight is Calumet Farms 14. Not to say it's not a bad bourbon, just didn't do it for me in this lineup. Not to say I wouldn't gladly pour that on a Saturday evening at any point in time. My 3rd place, which I'm probably wrong, so I would say I'm going to take a guess and say it's Yellowstone, but I at this point I probably don't know. So my 3rd place is Sam Houston. So a lot of people love these 2 bourbons that I just gave a 3rd and 4th place to. I could tell that Sam Houston has a lot of smoky qualities to it, but in my tasting tonight, the 2 most expensive bottles here, and that I felt like would win hands down between these 4, did not tonight. 3rd and 4th place. My 2nd place is going to be Remus Reserve. I'd heard that was sweet, and this was probably the sweetest of the bourbons that I had tonight. And then, of course, my 1st place is going to be the Yellowstone Limited Edition. I mean, I loved it. Again, I really thought this would be the winner, the Sam Houston, but it just didn't tonight. I will put it in other blind tastings at other times and see where it comes up against some other stuff, maybe an E.H. Taylor, whatever. And I keep notes on all my stuff, each and every tasting I do, I keep notes. So I'll know, hey, Sam Houston finished 3rd. Let's put it in a lineup with an E.H. Taylor single barrel, which did knock my socks off. you know, whatever. I try to keep them in the same proof if I can, but that's about it. Hope you enjoyed it, and we will and we'll get back to it soon. Thanks.